So there's always stuff to learn. You know, I think probably, like, even those guys we like, you know, they probably still learn stuff
Oh yeah.
every day.
I remember Eric Clapton talking about sometimes you try something that's supposed to be awesome, and it turns out to crap, or it turns out to be crap, and then sometimes he's just messing around, and then he goes, "How did I do that? What happened right there? I can't even tell it."
Well, I should have remembered how to do that.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, there's like guys like Dave Mustaine who claim to not even know how to play a major chord or a major scale.
Just power chords,
you know. But like people go see Megadeth in droves, you know.
Okay, like I listened to an interview with what's his name, the House of Pain guy.
Everlast.
Yeah, and he said he doesn't know, like his guitar playing is all just like trying stuff, and he very little theory on it.
And I think part of me in the avant-garde thing is that I started as a bass player. You know, all single notes. And I don't know if you noticed, but I seem to be more comfortable like fucking around with single notes.
Right.
And like my chording's good and clean, you know, but I don't practice that enough. I should. Ooh, you winced there.
Oh, I'm tired. I'm worn out. I've been drinking so much Crotch Star that.
Crotch Star.
Yeah, it gets to the point that caffeine has a calming effect on you because you need to switch to cocaine. Not really. Only the kids.
I have no control over what this guy says, man. It's been a long day. But I think self-taught musicians are all over, really, and they're generally kind of like cooler in some ways. You know, Eddie Van Halen like claims to not be able to read music, but he took music in high school and stuff, and he knows theory. And I mean, let's face it, if you're standing up there going like, you know, you can play this minor pentatonic scale over this blood to get it, you've at least looked in a book and learned some stuff.
I can't sight read by any means, but I can tell you, look at a staff and say, well, that's this note and that's this note. Basic stuff they taught in elementary school.
Music to me is like a language. Like, I don't see how people look at those notes on that page and keep it all straight. And maybe that just has to do with how my brain works. You know, I do have a reading disorder. Sometimes it gives me a hard time. I look at pages and, like, I don't see things real clear right away. So, you know, music, it just... It seems like it's hard enough to sit there and keep learning, like, new chords and scales and this and that and the other, and like, man, learning to read music at the same time would be just, you know, a handful. Would be like a job right now. Have you ever taught anybody?
A little bit. Nothing real formal.
Do you find you're a good music teacher?
Yeah, and you know what else I've found is that when you start giving free lessons and there's no structure to it, the student doesn't seem to take it very seriously, but once you start making them pay, then they're
making their parents pay.
And you set it down like we're going to sit down for half an hour or whatever. But if it's just like, show me some stuff. I had one guy that insisted on playing like some Metallica while I was trying to teach him how to play a song that was not even on this album.
Yeah,
he was just a weirdo. But dude, it's like, what are you doing?
Right. And then, you know, like, Joan Jett's kind of notorious for telling her guitar teacher to go screw himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but would you really say she's a great guitarist?
Is that her work on those songs?
Yeah.
No, it's her
power chords and
right.
stuff,
No, it's her vocals that stand out.
Yeah. You know, so...
I'll tell you that, this is awkward. Man, Heart. Well, that's just all around, all of them.
Oh, yeah. That's not our topic at all.
That's a chick. That's a badass guitarist chick.
Yeah. And her sister can sing like a motherfucker. Yeah. So I don't think there's absolutely anything wrong with being self-taught. I don't think you deserve any less respect for it.
No.
You know.
And plus there's more playing by ear going on there, and it's music. Why does it have to be about something that's put down on paper?
And I find that all the stuff that like Jimi Hendrix like said all the time, like no one was slapping my thumb telling me to keep it behind the neck, like and he like uses his thumb to fret notes and stuff, and I kind of do that.
Yeah.
Like I probably don't hold my, chords right. I probably don't hold my neck right. I probably don't like do all, a guitar teacher would probably look at me and go,
Yeah.
but I know how I'm comfortable playing and how I can like keep up and stuff.
Yeah. It was a rather liberating thing for me. I was already very proficient on the guitar, but at one point I read a definition of the word music, and it just says whatever is pleasing, whatever sound is pleasing to the ear. So literally, it could be a random bird chirping, and if you like the sound of that, that's music to you. So right there, who cares if somebody wants to take their hand and put it over the neck and start doing some weird tapping thing, or just playing it like a percussion instrument, and they like that? Why not? There are no rules.
But I wouldn't be able to teach somebody that. If somebody's asking me to, because I a girlfriend's daughter played like that. She would play over the, and I was like, look, if you want me to show you how to play, I can show you how to play. But if that's how you're wanting to play, you need to, see Don Healy.
I was about to say, yeah, Blind Man of Blues, Jeff Healy. Yeah.
He died. In his 40s or something. But Jeff Healy could teach you everything you want to know. If you want to do that, and I don't know why some people feel more comfortable playing that way, but I don't know why Dick Dale didn't just do the Hendrix thing and put his strings on there backwards, man. But the guy's an awesome guitarist. If you put his strings on the right way, he'd probably be lost. At this point. So I guess the dude just wanted to start playing, and Leo Fender gave him a Strat where it is, and he just started playing it without modifying it, and that's how it went out. And I don't know. I sometimes it's really discouraging when you can't learn something. But I think I mentioned earlier how, and we certainly want people's opinions on this, especially the gamers. But I think that gaming, you see results with the game right away. Like you press that button and that guy over there dies.
Right.
Right, and then the point, you start getting points or whatever. And people like that because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's
you either get to the next level or you don't.
Yeah, it's instant gratification. Guitar, trumpet, keyboard. I mean, I still have a wealth to learn. And it's a constant thing you have to work at. And Steve Vai may have been playing great stuff in 2 weeks, but most people aren't like that. Right. Probably it's going to be a year or two, maybe, before you're really, 6 months before you can play some chords and some rhythm in a band. A couple of years before you're.
I was talking about that first guitar teacher I had, and that was his approach. Was you could either learn 2 hits at the time were Guns N' Roses' "Patience," an acoustic song, and Poison. Yeah, I can still play it. And his first song, "Every Rose Has Its Thorn." I picked the Guns N' Roses, but his point was so that you could be playing along with the album at home,
right?
And instead of trying to learn "Skip to the Loo, My Darling" or whatever, it's great.
That's Joe Jett's thing,
right?
They didn't want to play that shit.
You want to learn what you want to play. That's what brought you to trying to learn the guitar or whatever in the first place. So he said, that's what he said. Yeah, once you can turn that stereo on and play along with it, that's when you're gonna not be working anymore. You're gonna be having fun.
And there's a lot to be said for sitting down with a student, or I've taught a couple of people, sitting down with a student and saying, "Look, I can have you playing a little song in a few minutes." Right, and teaching some fifth chords. Take something that's all major and minor chords, and then just make it all fifths and minors or something like that. So they can get the chord shapes down real easy, and they can be playing a song, and then it's wow, I can play this all the way through. I'm playing the guitar in a week. And I wouldn't trust them to play that song. Maybe by the end of 2 weeks, they could play that song live. And that can be very satisfying.
Yeah.
Then that's, I think, what you tend to go for. And the more moments that, like that a musician has.
Try not to yawn.
Just yawn. The more moments like that a musician has, the more prone they're going to be to stick with it.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing that we've kind of harped on about, it's that you can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
You just if you stop playing guitar for 2 years, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
But there's of course priorities, and if I was in a band that was making money on the side at the time, I'm sure my wife would have been
Right.
Dude, go do it.
Yeah.
I'll come and I got a friend who played in a very popular metal band down south for like 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And they went out and played a few nights a week and everything like that, and they were making okay money at it, and they were kind of famous in the region, and his wife was real into it, and everybody was real supportive.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say that I had that growing up. I wish I did. I wish I could say that, but I was kind of on my own there.
I have a dynamic of being raised mostly by my mom, who divorced my dad when I was very young because he decided I'm going to be a musician as what I do for a living, and that was a big.
Don't count on music to support you.
Right, and so she didn't stop me from playing the guitar. She certainly wasn't terribly supportive of it.
Right.
But she didn't say you shouldn't do that.
She didn't come to your room and tell you to shut up.
I'm sure she was a lot happier that I was doing that rather than going off with some guys to, drink or something.
Right.
I was sitting there in the house making music.
I got in trouble as a kid and a teenager and stuff sometimes, but I'd have to say that, sitting home and playing probably kept me out of a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe that's why they weren't discouraging all the time. And, they tended to let me kind of, play on the weekends. And as I got a little older, I just started buying guitar after guitar after guitar. I had 10 guitars at one point, and they just kind of figured, at least he has stuff to sell. I tend to buy those things as an investment too.
Yeah, that's just another thing that they only, as long as you take care of them, they go up in value.
Yeah. So, I'm all for it. In fact, I wish all you gamers out there would just learn to play an instrument.
My friend said there's the game Rockstar. There's one now where it's much more like a real, what I'm talking about. I haven't played it yet. I need to check that out.
The thing is, it's not that's not really a game, from what I understand. They advertise it as a game, but it is more a teaching tool, so it hasn't gotten as popular. Because again, but that'll have me playing Ziggy Stardust in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, I bet, man. I bet what's possible.
You'll know that song.
Just seeing how I had to go and get my mom or have my older brother borrow my mom's car and drive us to the music store to go see the guitar teacher once a week versus when we're done with this podcast, I can go check out literally 50 different guitar teachers in a row.
Or just get a big, document recorded.
Yeah, anything for free on the internet. Yeah.
The internet's ruined some careers for sure.
Yeah.
And teaching is one of them. Right. It's kind of all kinds that started to ruin. Yeah. So I guess just to sum up here, we're both musically talented. We both had some encouragement, but probably not enough. And you practice more than I do. and I should practice more. But again, I think a lot of it's life getting in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have the skills to make enough money to support myself with music. I never have a practice space. It's like I'm always supposed to land some job to make enough money to then jump into that, and I've never been able to do it, man.
Yeah.
And everybody I play with wants, I say everybody wants to be in a band with me, but it just doesn't happen because I don't have the initial startup capital.
Or time.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. Anyway, put your opinions in comments. Flip Move, goemonronin, signing off. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Check in tomorrow for more good guests.